This is a UMBC team that has already been up to Philly. They lost to LaSalle 5-0 earlier this year. That was the heaviest defeat they suffered. Games have been much closer since for this Retrievers team, which is still looking for win number 1 this season under first-year head coach Vanessa Mann. Got a chance to speak with her. She was so very friendly. And she was really keeping it honest with her UMBC team. She was saying, we don't know who our main starting 11 is yet, so they're using non-conference play to kind of figure out who's going to be the best moving forward when they start to play the America East teams.
And that's so smart to do, especially as a first-year head coach, because you don't have that history with these players. She met them maybe a couple months ago, and she's still trying to feel that out. And also not only just individually who is on the field, but how they work together. That's almost as important as just the individual personnel you put out there, because there's so many different combinations you can make as to who really connects better on the field, who thinks the same way, who can play those heads-up types of plays. So using these games as almost another tryout of sorts, you can't get any better experience than game time minutes for UMBC.
Coach Mann spent 3 years as an assistant at William & Mary. They got a very good program there, and she's also coached at Oklahoma and Nevada. Her alma mater is Nevada, the Wolfpack. So this is what stopped play earlier. It was that Andrews tackle. And away from Raven Connor. Here's Sydney Donovan, junior from Long Island. That's a nice ball. Turning and firing is Corby, and it's wide. But there's another instance of UMBC kind of probing and getting fairly close to the Penn net.
That was great positioning by Corby. She felt, you could tell, comfortable on the ball, even with the defender right at her back. As we take a look at this play, she turns and she takes a shot. It's off frame, but it was a great way to trap, and she got a quick turn around defender, and she had a nice look onto net. So UMBC, they haven't had a ton of chances, but they look like they're trying to make the most out of the looks that they do get. That's
the first recorded shot for the Retrievers as they try to push forward once more through A. Now Andrews, settled by Stevenson. There's Andrews again. She's been active early on. Out to Stevens. And a bit of an errant touch as Sands gives chase.
Great pressure there by Duncan. You can see her running all over the field, but because of that pressure now, Penn has the ball, and it's at Sasha Stevens' feet. Let's see what she can do.
Here's a shot. That one's just over the crossbar.
And that all started with Abby Duncan's pressure. She came back from the middle of the field, put pressure on that defense, resulted in a turnover. And this is a great shot again by Stevens. It's kind of her comfort zone right at the top of the box. Again, a little high over the crossbar, but if you remember back to that first shot, it's a little lower than that first one. So she's getting more and more comfortable on the ball, and another good look for Sasha Stevens.
A good chance, too, for Stevens to size up these defenders. It seemed like she got past the person marking her pretty quickly.
Yeah, especially when you don't always play these teams. You want to kind of get to know them in the first couple minutes, how they like to defend, how closely they're going to defend her, because she's got an X on her back being who she is and how great of a season she's already had.
Another run coming from the Retrievers. And sent away by Larson.
Looked like that ball was destined for Bellucci on that far post, because she was wide open. If they were able to get the ball to her, she is hanging out on an island by herself. They really need to Penn needs to pull their outside backs a little closer to the touch line just to make sure, because she's got some wheels on her, Bellucci, and if she made a nice run, she'd be a wide open net opportunity.
Bellucci is one of those freshmen that Coach Mann brought in, about 8 or 9 freshmen new to this UMBC team, so already Coach Mann kind of putting her stamp on this program, and that can be tough too, because when you're working with players that were recruited by a different tenure, it can always be an interesting situation. Do you play them? Do they fit your style? So a lot to think about in that first year for Coach Mann.
And it's growing pains for both. She's a freshman. This is a new level and a degree of playing for her too. So it'll be interesting to see as the years go on under Mann's coachings how these players develop and how their relationship starts to develop, because they're both new.
Another good run from UMBC, but the Quakers are wise to it. Traska gets it back from Larson. Nice piece of play here on the near flank from the Quakers, and Stevens has some real estate. Stevens to the box, chips it forward, and it's over Duncan's head, but that's a lovely run there from Stevens.
Great run, great possession by Stevens. She's so calm on the ball. She just takes it up so effortlessly. And Duncan made a good run, but if she just maybe cut inside and Stevens can make a little more of an accurate cross there, that's a nice look for Penn.
The Quakers have 3 shots to this point, couple of them from Stevens, but they have yet to test Jade Wilkins, the sophomore netminder. Sands trying to save it, and out for a UMBC touch.
It was interesting, too, because Sasha Stevens had switched sides on that play because she was talking to Coach Van Dyke. So right from there, you could see Traska, once again, build play out of the middle and hit Stevens on that wing. And it was a great opportunity to switch things up on the defense and show Stevens on an opposite side of the field.
Great tackle from Traska. Here's Sands with the left foot, and that one is well wide. But the Quakers are starting to get that pressure really mounting, and if you're UMBC, you can kind of sense the Retrievers are back on their heels a little bit.
Stevens is still on that left side of the field right now, but look at this opportunity right here. It's a nice shot right at the top of the box. Still, they need to find the ball on frame. It's great that they're getting these shots off, but they need to start getting them at least on frame.
Sands looking to turn. Wide for Duncan, plenty of space. Duncan over Stevens' head and through everybody. And a chance here to get it up and out from Donovan.
Looks like Duncan and Stevens switched sides, and they're staying on this look right now. So maybe trying to show the defense a couple different options.
And Larson's ball goes harmlessly to Wilkins. And if you're Stevens, you've already gotten a chance to go against both fullbacks, both sides. So I'm sure that she's figuring out what's most comfortable for her. Wind starting to pick up. Here's Sands. Looks left and right. Drops it off short to Duncan. Sands puts it in. Andrews a shot, and it is home.
It's a great goal by Penn. They've been knocking on the door for a couple minutes now, and to get that look, and that was a nice little run inside the box to make herself open and available.
3 goals this year now for Kelsey Andrews, the junior from Hillsborough, California. A good feed from Sands, and nobody picked her up.